Hi, and welcome back to Bridgerton Fancast. This is a fan-created podcast where we discuss the hit Netflix show Bridgerton. I am Michelle. I live in the States. You can find me at Musings on Instagram and Twitter, and I have not read the Bridgerton books.
And I'm Rita, I live in England, and I'm at Annoying Rita on Instagram and Twitter, and I've read the books. Before we begin, I'm once again going to ask that if you like this podcast, can you please share it with a friend? We'd also really appreciate any time you could take out to give the show a rating or review over on iTunes or Spotify or like wherever, I don't care. I know it might not seem like it sometimes, but we put in a lot of work into this show. Michelle is literally waking up at the crack of dawn, and the self-restraint we are now having to employ to not watch the next episode is like a marvel, a medical miracle. I mean, that alone deserves a 5-star rating from you guys. So I'm just saying, help us out here.
Episode 4 of Season 2 is titled Victory and was written by Chris Van Dusen and Jess Brownwell. Chris is the showrunner for Season 2, and Jess will be the new showrunner for Seasons 3 and 4.
That's not worrying at all, by the way. We're losing the showrunner, guys.
No! This episode was directed by Alex Pillai, who I think we can all agree has done an incredible job on these last 2 episodes. So here comes the recap.
Okay, so episode 4 began with Violet and Daphne preparing for the house party at Aubrey Hall. In all honesty, it seemed to be mostly just them doing flower arranging, but Violet seems proud at how adept Daphne is now as a hostess. She knows what a lily is or whatever, so yay. Anyway. Meanwhile, Anthony and Kate are both brooding, heavy sighs and staring out windows, etc. It seems a few days have passed since the beasting incident trademark, and Kate has limited herself to her room. Edwina has now become more desperate than ever for a proposal, and tells Kate that she thinks the reason the Viscount hasn't been even proposed yet is because of the animosity between Kate and Anthony.
All this time I thought I needed your help getting him to fall in love with me. But I have realized what I need is your help getting him to fall in love with you.
Yeah, I mean, oh, honey, we can suddenly arrange that by the end of the episode, even.
Yeah. Okay, we head back to London, where we get to see the new Lady Whistledown scheme Penelope and Madame Delacroix have cooked up together. So, apparently, after doing all of her actual modiste work, Genevieve has time to sew a whole-ass new dress, slip Penelope's column into the hem, sew said hem closed, then have that dress sent to a print shop full of working-class men? I'm sure we're going to get into this more later, because it is truly a terrible plan, but that goes without saying at this point. Back at Aubrey Hall, Violet is graciously greeting her guests with a garden party. Penelope arrives and runs in glee to see her besties, Eloise and Colin. They are discussing Eloise's newfound love for feminist pamphlets. She appears to have abruptly given up on the Lady Whistledown hunt for this week's episode. Who can keep up with this at this point?
Not us.
And is instead name-dropping the apprentice of the print shop she now stands. Penelope smells a dangerous situation. Speaking of, Colin tells everyone that he is off to visit Marina. Oh, joy.
So across the party, Edwina forces Kate to come sit with her and Anthony. It's the awkward, with the two unable to make eye contact and Anthony making grunting sounds in response to conversation. The whole almost kiss thing lingers heavily between them, but obviously Edwina is oblivious. She has her heart set on forcing Anthony to spend the day together. Oh, if you only knew, gal. But anyway, Anthony is actually off hunting with the gentleman, so he poo-poos this. Edwina's like, Kate can hunt too! Which sets off a series of bickering from Kate and Anthony, which, again, Edwina, Come on,
Yes.
pick up on the vibe. And the result is, as usual, Kate getting her own way. Colin, meanwhile, shows up at Marina's very grand residence unannounced. He didn't even ride ahead, guys. Crazy.
I know.
So he's introduced to one of her twins. This poor woman. And they make polite small talk over some tea about Colin's grand tour. After actual Sir Philip of To Sir Philip with Love, that Sir Philip arrives and starts bonding with Colin over Grecian botany. Philip invites Colin to stay for dinner because he cannot read the room, much to Marina's chagrin. Daphne declares that she hardly knows Edwina and plans to get to know her better before Anthony's proposal, as if Edwina would ever allow herself to look anything other than perfect in front of her future family-in-law. Anywho, Daphne sits down to a game of cards with her and they discuss how little Edwina actually knows Anthony. I mean, she describes him as even-tempered. Even-tempered! I've never seen anyone fly off the handle as often as Anthony, and I'm Portuguese. People have described me as fiery since I was like 3. I think it's slightly xenophobic, but whatever. Anyway, Edwina's like, maybe I'd bring out the best in him, eyelash flutter. And everyone smiles patronizingly because, girl, the delusion to think you can change a man's character. Oh, Edwina.
Oh my God. Yeah. The obliviousness was really at an 11 this week.
An 11.
Yeah. It was at an 11 this week. Okay. Violet forces Eloise to spend some time with her fellow debutantes. But despite her supposed feminism, Eloise spends the entire conversation with her fellow sex being like, just don't listen to your mama. You know, not everyone has a wealthy, indulgent family to fall back on, Eloise. Anyway, fear not for the youth, though, because they know where to get their kicks.
There is always Lady Whistledown.
Though I doubt she will publish anything of note this week.
What can you mean?
We are all here, enjoying the countryside together. Anything she might print, surely we will already know.
Is that so?
Penelope's mission, if she chooses to accept it, is to find something these girls don't really know. Shouldn't be too hard. Over at the hunt, Kate, who is dressed in that gorgeous riding habit again, Kate is already dismayed that the guys are high-key useless and are drawing the group away from the deers they are all supposedly hunting. Anthony promises her that he will offer himself up for her target practice should they not find any sport.
That was cute!
That was really adorable. This draws a reluctant smile from Kate, and they begin to chat amiably. This amiability does not last for more than one conversation, however, because Kate loses patience with the terrible guides and vanishes from the party at first opportunity, abandoning her chaperone. Oh, that poor woman. And pissing off Anthony.
She vanishes like she's Superman. Like, is she secretly...
I know, she's just like gone. He turns his back on her for like 3 seconds, and she's nowhere to be seen. It's like, did she just, like...
teleport.
Pick up her skirts and run? Anyway. Back at the garden party, Portia is impressing on Prudence the importance of securing a match with Jack Featherington. They do not want to be eating fish head pie in Cornwall, after all.
You don't have to eat the heads. That's like, not, it's decorative, anyway.
But they're staring up at... No. Oh, anyway.
I eat a lot of fish. I'm fine with it, babe.
The subject of Marina attempting to entrap Colin comes up in the conversation, and we get a shot of Portia doing the thinky face emoji as she recalls how easy it is to trap a man. No good can come from this.
No. Back at the hunting party, Anthony finds Kate attempting to actually shoot something. Blasphemy. He's appalled that she would just leave by herself. But on reflection, it's rather predictable. She has done this so many times now. Seems to be running around on her own a lot, including the day she was stung by that bee.
The other morning.
When I was stung.
After which you put my hand to your bosom.
To show you I was unharmed, you were overcome.
Indeed, I was not.
You were the one who then looked at me.
You looked at me!
Not in the way that you did.
And how exactly did I look?
Okay, there's then a lot of heavy breathing and staring at each other intensely, as if they're about to rip each other's clothes off. This ship, I swear to God, my blood pressure is through the roof. Anthony then proceeds to help Kate shoot the deer by bringing his face up against the nape of her neck and breathing in her scent. It's truly too much for me.
Yeah.
They kill absolutely nothing. All they do is raise my blood pressure. Unfortunately for them and for me, they're interrupted again and they have to rejoin the hunt.
Following their dinner, Philip and Colin are nerding out over one of Philip's botany books. Marina looks bored AF and tries to hurry Colin out the door. After Philip takes his leave, Colin apologizes to Marina.
What?
And forgives her. A casual reminder that she never said sorry for what she did to him. Marina, in typical Marina fashion, blows him off and tells him to get the hell over it. Heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a good point. Ah! Colin is like, but you don't seem happy. And Marina is like, boy, this isn't any of your business. Please go back to your family and your Penelope and try to be happy. Colin, thankfully, leaves. The hunting party returns to Aubrey Hall. Edwina is desperate to know how the day went. And Kate kinda sorta bends the truth and says it all went well. I do not think Edwina would have agreed if she saw how horny it was up in that forest.
Oh, Edwina. No, she probably would have just watched the whole thing and said, this is normal, right? No, that's how you hunt.
No, honey, no. We then cut to a very broody Anthony lying awake in bed as the storm rages outside. Oh, a metaphor for his emotional turmoil. Remember, he's even-tempered? Yes.
Sorry. Edwina's insane.
Oh, God. In her own bed, Kate is startling at the thunder and lightning outside. Unable to find peace, she grabs a lamp and heads downstairs to the Bridgerton library. And, of course, Anthony finds her there. She explains that storms freak her out and that her father used to read to her during monsoon season. Now storms remind her of him. Seeing an opportunity to bond over dead dad angst, he then tells Kate about his own, including the fact that Edmund died by bee sting. You can visibly see Kate putting the jigsaw pieces of Anthony Bridgerton together. Now, having bared themselves emotionally, it is time for the traditional longing eye contact and potential kiss foreplay. But then a flash of lightning strikes and Kate remembers she's in a nightgown in front of her sister's suitor and runs away.
Boo! We want a kiss! We want a kiss!
A fairly sheer nightgown as well.
It was working for her.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was.
Okay, so the next morning, Daphne and Violet prepare for the evening's ball. Again, mostly just flower arrangements. Why are they even there? Hire a florist. They discuss the Anthony-Edwina match, and Daphne declares herself unimpressed by it. She imagined Anthony with someone more like himself, and Edwina is far too polished and diamondy to give Anthony any kind of challenge. In the next scene, she takes these concerns to Anthony, who shrugs her off, as Anthony is wont to do. Honestly, he should just listen to Daphne. Having a baby has made her weirdly wise, I guess. Okay, so time for the annual, in quotations, Hearts and Flowers Ball. Honestly, did this show forget that season 1 existed? Where was this annual ball then? Where? It's all extremely pink and flowery, and honestly, I hated the aesthetic. Please, Violet, get some less cliche taste. Get Lady Danbury. She knows how to throw a party. Anthony approaches Edwina for his first dance, and they twirl around in a waltz while Kate watches on forlornly. Now across the ballroom, Eloise is accosted by her mother, who wants her to dance with Lord Morrison. It's fair to say it goes pretty terribly because he calls most of the women in polite society stupid, and even though Eloise probably thinks the same most days and has stated so, she goes off on another feminist rant and strops off the dance floor. Her mother informs her that she invited Lord Morrison for her, because apparently he shares her rebellious spirit. But Eloise is like, how dare you! This is not a phase, mother! This is who I really am! And flounces off like a 14-year-old that just got their nose pierced without their mother's permission.
Oh, God. Across the ballroom, a different kind of mother is working on getting her own daughter off of her hands. Portia suggests Prudence go for a little wander around the Bridgerton orangery, alone, at night, unchaperoned, and then tells Jack that some important lord wants to meet him in the same place to discuss business. We see you, Portia.
Eyes on you, Portia. We're watching you.
After their dance has finished, Edwina approaches Kate and begs her to dance with Anthony. Kate, and most of the audience, is like, what the fuck, Edwina?
Right?
You nuts?
Okay, if you say so.
But apparently, she thinks that if Kate gives Anthony her approval, then Anthony will propose at the ball in front of everyone, and she will be crowned best diamond ever. As a result, we get a Canthony dance scene that is sizzling with so much repressed sexuality and longing that it causes Rita to have full-blown heart palpitations. Oh my God. Anyway, the dance is so hot that Daphne and Lady Danbury are like, holy shit, they are in love. Edwina is still oblivious. Back on the dance floor, Kate asks Anthony if Anthony is going to propose, and he obfuscates. I always screw that word up when I'm
very drunk when writing this. I'm sorry.
Obfuscates and starts asking if she thinks he should, which is so sneaky. But Kate's like, it doesn't matter what I want because I'm off to India as soon as Edwina marries. Anthony freaks the fuck out and storms out of the room because abandonment issues related to his father's death. Kate follows him out of the ball.
This was not remotely suspicious, Edwina. No. Meanwhile, Portia leads a group of random partygoers towards the orangery and gasps in fire surprise when she finds Jack and Prudence together. The situation is farcical, but the collective pressure of the other guests forces Jack to promise to marry Prudence, who looks like she just won, like the Wheel of Fortune. Like,
yes.
A win for Portia, but at what cost? Raised eyebrow. Anthony has stormed off into the library to brood, because that is his Kate spot. Kate barges right in to yell at him, like, what is your problem? Now, Anthony is visibly upset at the prospect of losing his favourite Kate as soon as he marries Edwina.
Yeah.
Funny that. Yeah. He then asks why Kate hates him so damn much. Well, I say ask. There's a lot of yelling and heavy breathing at this point. It's very, like, they're not talking about hate. Kate says he vexes her and that she hates him, totally while staring longingly at his lips as they encroach on each other's personal space. So take that with a pinch of salt.
I am a gentleman.
And your heart is with my sister.
And my heart is with your sister.
What do you do?
Say you do not care for me. Tell me you feel nothing, and I will walk away.
I feel. Oh!
Damn it, Daphne, they were just about to kiss.
They were so close.
They were
oh
so
my God.
close. Daphne and that ghost horse from last episode are just conspiring against us.
Oh God. Daphne pours herself a glass of brandy in another room as she tries to process the clusterfuck she just witnessed. Anthony runs in to tell her, it's not what you think. Oh, but Anthony, it's exactly what she thinks. She points out that when she was planning on marrying a prince last year and Anthony found her in a compromising position with Simon, Anthony made them marry. Anthony is like, well, technically nothing happened with Kate. Spiritually and emotionally, that's not the case. But okay. Daphne tells him he needs to deal with this whole mess stat, because these types of feelings have a way of coming to a head. What feelings are those, you ask? Why, love, of course. At the mention of love, Daphne has activated Anthony's self-destruct button. So, thanks for nothing, girl.
You should have stayed home, Daphne. What good did you do?
Seriously. Speaking of self-destructive behavior, Prudence is effervescent with glee over her engagement and wondering if she will appear in Whistledown. Penelope is like, this whole thing could ruin us. By the way, where was this caution when she was ruining her family last season? Well, because she wasn't thinking anything about her family at that point. She was thinking about her boo. The general vibe from Penelope is that she thinks her mother and sister suck for this, which is fair, but also, shut up, Penelope. Nobody wants Cressida as their new mama.
The ends justify the means in this case, okay?
Yes.
So, we then cut to Kate crying on a balcony in her nightgown, and she's caught by Lady Danbury, who decides it's time for a little chat.
Mm-hmm.
This chat should have happened like 4 episodes ago, but finally, the entire conversation is held as if they both don't know she's in love with Anthony, but it's not actually clear how much Lady Danbury knows. They're trying to play it both ways. I'm very confused. The show has plausible deniability, but anyway, she tells her that Edwina deserves to know how Kate feels, however she feels, and we stand because it's fab advice that could have avoided the later clusterfuck in this episode. But did Kate listen? No. Bitch, you should have woken your sister up in the middle of the night. Could have avoided all of this anyway. The next morning, Jack barges into Portia's room, hey, and tells her he is broke. She has fucked them all over with her scheme. It's an important plot point, but I can't help but note how much he's smiling at her, and how despite all logic, I still continue to ship them. What is wrong with me? On the stairs, Colin and Penelope discuss his visit to Marina. Despite her seeming content, Colin can't help but wonder if Lady Whistledown didn't completely fuck up her entire life. Penelope looks crestfallen. This is excellent future tension fodder for Pollen, but at the moment seems comparatively less important than what is about to happen. Brace yourselves.
Oh, strap in, people. The episode ended with the Ton all getting into their fancy carriages and leaving Aubrey Hall. The Sharmas and the Featheringtons are the last to get into their carriage. As they are climbing in, Kate approaches the subject of Anthony's lack of proposal with Edwina and is about to explain how she is in love with him when Anthony barges out and makes the biggest mistake of his life.
Miss Edwina Sharma. Will you marry me?
Kate looks devastated, Daphne and Violet look shocked, and Penelope looks thrilled to have gotten her scoop. If she only knew the real story, huh?
There's a really juicy morsel of gossip right underneath her nose. And she's like, oh, a proposal. Bitch, if only you knew. I feel like just describing the episode has put me under a lot of trauma. Oh, God. So, what were your first impressions?
Well, I think, if I recall correctly, my first impressions were something along the lines of, I'm going to throw something at the television or something along those lines. Yeah, it was pretty serious.
Yeah, this was agony. I remember you said and I texted you he proposed, didn't he? I can feel it in my bones. He's gonna do something stupid. And the whole episode I was watching it thinking oh, maybe I was wrong. He doesn't seem to be doing it. And then, like, right at the last...
And then,
actually,
boom!
As soon as Daphne said, this is, you love her, I was like, oh shit, no, this is what's gonna send him over the edge. And then it happened, and I was like, weirdly like, okay, in a weird way, this proves that Anthony loves Kate in a really deranged
Absolutely.
way. So I was like, that's nice, but also, what a fucking mess.
Oh my god.
And I hate it.
It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because what the hell are they going to do now? I mean,
yeah.
Talk
What worries me. The anxiety I feel about this. There's only 4 episodes left to clean up this mess.
I know. It's like, dude, not a lot of time left. Okay? And you just really screwed the pooch
Can we
here.
just hurry up?
Oh.
Just get to the Kate and Anthony being in love part, please. Let them be together. I'm getting very tired. And having said that, I've rewatched this episode a lot.
Yeah, same here.
And controversially, I think this might get me cancelled. I think I prefer this episode to episode 3.
Really?
I know that's insane. I think it's right. If you look, here's my secret trick. Just don't watch the last scene, and it's a really great Kate and Anthony
absolutely.
episode. It's really fantastic, iconic scenes. I think when we look back at the season as a whole, like, you're gonna remember the library scene, their first dance together, and like even Anthony's proposal, like that. Just like you'll be like, that's the season.
Oh, man.
Loads of important moments happened.
Man.
And there was so much sexual tension. I'm an angst slut. I love feeling like I'm slightly in pain while I watch something.
Yes.
And this really
this is I was going to say, this is really pulling your chain. because this is angst at like biblical levels.
An 11.
Yes.
Just
at 11.
Potentially too much angst for me to handle, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, God.
So, like, we are now, as I said, halfway into the season, and I was, like, on holiday this week, and instead of focusing on trying to focus on my holiday, I was, like, going for a swim in the ocean, and I was like, we should start talking about some of the themes in our podcast, because apparently I do my best thinking when I'm in the shower or swimming. Okay. Because I think sometimes we get really bogged down in the mechanics of the individual plot points. Yeah. We sometimes miss, like, the forest through the trees. And I think halfway through the season, it would be good to start talking about what kind of stories they're trying to tell here. I think one of my great swimming thoughts was that I think the main theme that goes throughout most of the storylines this season has been them each individual grappling with their own identity. I think Anthony as the head of his family, you've got Edwina as the diamond, Kate with her self-imposed spinsterhood, trying to find her own path for herself. And I think, especially with Penelope, she's got like this dual identity as Lady Whistledown and as herself. And then even my least favourite storyline of Eloise as a radical feminist, I think when she was saying, this is who I am, and as much as I was like, this is funny, what we have is a person trying to become who she wants to be. And how society wants them to be or how society sees them. I think there's just so much going on there with all these different people, like, and you know, you think about the show and you think it's like romances and family dynamics and all those things, but at the heart of it, I think it's really a story about people self-actualizing. And that was a weird, random, new thought for me as I was in the ocean, because I've never seen the show that. The ocean really, like, brought out my best thoughts, and I was like, this is really clever. I should share this on the podcast. So I had to run off the beach and write it down. So, what do you think?
I think you hit the nail on the head in all respects. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about this show is their intention to be much more than just a romance novel, you know? We
love romance novels.
Oh, absolutely. But this show is so much more than a romance novel. And, if you just scratch away the surface, there's all of this stuff just generating energy, for each of these characters to bring out their multidimensional personalities. So, we could read this in a romance novel, but I have no idea how the book is going to do it for me. We'll see. But, this show is taking the time to go deep, around some themes that are, kind of at the core of who people are. The fact that, Anthony has been carrying around this, it's my duty, we see where that comes from, in the hours following his dad's death. Everybody's peppering him with questions about, what they need to do and blah, 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 because he's now the Viscount. It's his duty to do this stuff. And he has taken that ball and has been running with it. And then not to mention, when he is, talking to his mother about how he is not going to be the cause of the grief that he witnessed, his mother going through, because she loved her husband so much. He does not want to be that kind of burden, so then we're getting, layer after layer after layer, and it's marvelous.
It also meant that when he did propose, you couldn't feel that angry at him. It was
exactly.
Like, when he did propose, I was like, this is the cleanest way to completely fuck up your relationship with Kate. Like, he was just like, how do I kill this in the water now? I will propose to her sister, and she will travel to India, and it will be over, and nobody will get hurt. I mean, the irony is he's going to hurt everybody more by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, in that moment, I totally understood his thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most insane thinking possibly I've ever seen, because it's so self-destructive. But at the same time, you can't help it. I mean, the layers of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exquisite.
Yeah.
You were just like, this is terrible, and I love it.
This is terrible, and of course it was going to happen because Anthony.
I just think it's interesting because sometimes this show feels like it's doing 50,000 things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the proposal scene. You had the Kate and Anthony and the Edwina thing, but you also had Penelope watching, who was in her own little storyline where she was in competition to get that bit of gossip. And it was like, she was like reveling in this moment of complete pain for Kate. And it was like, you're kind of a little bit of an asshole, Penelope. I love you.
It's like you're getting some glee over the misfortunes of other people.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I think it's interesting that this show is willing to go there. They're willing to make Penelope kind of a dick sometimes. Like, everyone is so flawed, and like, still you love them and you root for them and you want the best for them. Even Anthony, who gets in his own way. And it's funny to think like all of these things that seem so random are all actually the same storyline. Everyone's going through the same sort of process of trying to find who they are. Except Marina. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but we'll get into that. So let's break down the storylines. The main one was obviously Kate and Anthony.
Yes.
I mean, what can we say that we haven't already said about these two, right?
The chemistry between these two is, dare I say, oh God, this might get me canceled.
Just say it.
It is even more scorchy than Simon and Daphne.
That's not going to get you canceled. That's a popular opinion. Everyone is accurate. It is. It is.
Okay. See, I've been avoiding all things related to Bridgerton, so it's like I don't know what people are talking about in the community or anything like that.
I'm based on the books. Like, Kate and Anthony are way more popular. Like, I think that's just a book opinion. I don't know about the TV show because I certainly haven't interacted. But
Yeah.
Again, as we discussed in our book club episode, this is the book that launched this entire series. The first book came out and people liked it, but this book came out and like changed Julia Quinn's publishing career, really.
Wow.
Because it's just
it's classic. It's a classic. When it comes to romance and writing romance, you always want to have the two sparring against one another initially because
it's fun.
It's showing that there is there's this fun, there's this life, and it shows there's this passion lying underneath. And so, yeah, I mean, this is when Simon and Anthony are plotting to do this to get everybody off their backs and or get everybody on their backs. That's one thing, but this is fire. I'm sorry. I just had a BTS moment.
I think like the sexual tension being built in this is excruciating. There's something about making us wait. The anticipation is almost more explosive than the actual, like, when you think about it, gonna, like, at the end of episode 4 of season 1, like, the tension's already been broken. They've kissed, they've hooked up, there's gonna be a duel, whatever. And we're still waiting for the first kiss here. Like, the anticipation is it's its own, like, it just fills you with so much tension. And, like, I don't know why tension is so exciting as a romance reader. If there's no tension, you're not engaged with the story. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
You want to feel like you're really invested and you have to have these two end up together or the world is going to end and you're just going to die unhappy. And that's how I feel watching every single of their scenes.
Well, they got me. Well done. You got me.
Well done.
Thank you. Now, can we just get on with it?
It's like I'm constantly going, can you just kiss? And also like, but I quite like waiting. So I don't. I'm a very conflicted person. It's a mess.
Oh God.
Having said that, but like the triangle this week was a whole ass mess for me. When they first announced that they had turned this story into more of a triangle, I was anxious immediately because I was worried this would turn Edwina into a bit of a plot device that purely existed to keep tension in the love story between Kate and Anthony. I think this was the first episode where I thought they kind of did that. Just this episode. The first 3 episodes, I think they avoided that. But it felt like Edwina was just like a cog in the storytelling machine. She's like, okay, now you have to dance together. And you're like, what the fuck, Edwina? Why? She just simultaneously wants to throw Anthony together and keep them apart at the same time. And it I feel like they could have got there if her enthusiasm hadn't felt so sudden. It felt like it came out of nowhere at the start of the episode, and it was artificial and just badly explained. I think she seemed just there to make shit happen, and she's also seeming really oblivious now. It's got to the point where it doesn't make, like, Edwina makes no sense to me in this episode. I mean, that might change in the future episodes. Now she's an engaged woman. Oh my God. But this week it was like, what? What? Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, I mean, it's like when the episode, started and, she's sitting there saying, I think I understand why he hasn't proposed yet. And it's because of you. And it was just like, oh shit. Did she pick up on something? I don't know. And she just starts going down this, this, you two hate each other and, all I need for you to do is just find some common ground with him. And it was just like, oh God, girl, just be quiet.
What I don't get about it is she wants them to spend time together, but why isn't she there as well?
Yes.
Like, you would be on the hunt to make sure they got on. Like,
yes.
Why are you
sending
there?
them off on their own? Go and do these things that will put you in situations where you're alone and where you're all touchy-feely and all that kind of stuff, because you do need to get along.
And also, like, do they need to get along? Question mark. Like, that wasn't fully explained to me. Because, like, she knew they didn't get along before and it wasn't really a problem. The sudden, like, you need to get along thing, like, what? There was a story beat missing where she was suddenly like, know what? You two are fighting too much or something. You know, it's like a scene was missing.
Yes.
Suddenly we were just like, we're here in the story, so you need to go do that. And I felt really bad for Charitha because she's doing such an exceptionally good job as Edwina, and I think she's doing like the best that she could, and she's making it work. But the whole time I was like, you're just here to carry this plot along.
Exactly. Oh.
But I think like one of my favorite scenes actually was when she's talking with Daphne. I think Daphne recognizes Edwina's facade a lot better than anyone else because she was last season's Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has that moment where she says, like, I feel like I don't really know her. And I was like, you cannot know Edwina. Edwina is unknowable. Like, I think Edwina is only ever really herself when she's alone with her sister.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice how well that parallels with Anthony.
Yeah.
Because I think he's the exact same way. And they sort of have the same responsibility in society and in their families. So in a way, they are well matched. I couldn't help but think, like, on paper, you would put these two people together and you would think they would have, like, a good society match. But something about the way when Anthony proposed, Edwina was like, I will be your Viscountess.
Yes.
Like, so dramatically.
Oh, that line just infuriated me. Yes, I will be your Viscountess.
You know what that reminded me of?
What?
You know when people get roles in plays and it's like, I will be your Juliet in this production of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
It was like Edwina sees Anthony as like the director of this performance piece about courtship, and they're both playing roles. And they sort of sucked Kate into this play she didn't sign up to. She's up on this dance floor with this man she didn't agree to dance with. And you can see she's just awkward. She doesn't know what she's doing. And it's just like, it's like Anthony and Edwina are putting on this performance. And I just think every step of their courtship has felt so fake and artificial. And every time they talk to each other, they call each other like, Miss Edwina or the Viscount, and it's like, you never said each other's first names to each other. You don't have any private conversations. There's no in-jokes. They have not kissed. There's no romance to it.
Yeah, it's sterile. It's sterile.
The way he got engaged as well, I couldn't help but thinking it was like the most public way he could do it. Because there was no intimacy, was there?
No.
It was like...
No, it's like, okay, I'm on show. I'm on show.
I will do it in front of my family and your family, and it will be the best play ever.
I can't with them.
I also couldn't help... Wait, okay, don't know how to put this. You know how Anthony kept arguing with Kate about, like, oh, you keep going off unchaperoned, and
oh, your rules, and... You and your rules.
It can sometimes come off as a quite chauvinistic. But I couldn't help but thinking, like, this is a guy who desperately wants to abandon his role and his rules and his performance. And he sees Kate just doing whatever the fuck she wants because she's, like, as she said, she lives on the margins of that society, so she can do whatever the fuck she wants. And Anthony's like, please, I love that. Please show me how to do that. So as much as I think it annoys the shit out of him because he sees somebody being so free, it's also the thing I think he's so attracted to in her, because she's sort of teaching him how to just like, hey, let go of all these hang-ups you have. Just be yourself. And he's just too uptight. So I love that for
him. God. Okay, we can spend probably the next 2 hours talking about this. But yeah, we gotta move on.
Okay, Eloise. I don't have much to say about Eloise that I haven't already said.
I have to laugh every time her mother ropes her into something. Her posture, it kills me. It just kills me.
Bad.
And, the look on her face, she's just kind of like, oh God, oh. She's just, she kills me. I think the young lady that is playing Eloise is doing a great job. And, even though she was very dramatic after the dance with Lord Whoosywetsit,
he was an ass.
The line that just kind of broke my heart was, I know that I'm a disappointment to you. And it was just like, oh, honey.
Violet's not a very good mother sometimes. I just kind of think like, you're making your daughter feel because she was so nice to Daphne for being like the perfect hostess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, poor Eloise.
Oh, so yeah, that just broke my heart. Maybe Violet. Oh, yeah, maybe Violet will pick up on that now that she's stated that so baldly.
Violet learns nothing. That's the theme.
We'll have to see.
Eloise still gets minus points from me for being a terrible feminist because she's so patronizing with those other girls. By the time she was freaking out at her mother, I was just like, nah, you, with your financial freedom and security of your family name, who is indulged by everyone in your family, where you can just do whatever you like. And have this attitude absolutely every ball. You're going to tell people how they should live their lives. No, thank you.
Yeah.
She might feel like she's a disappointment, but she certainly never lets that stop her from behaving exactly how she wants. So it's like, shrug emoji, I feel for you, but on the other hand, how bad do I feel? Not that bad, Eloise, because you don't have it so bad. Try being Penelope. It's way worse.
Yeah.
Especially
now. Especially now.
It could have been worse. Cressida could have been her mama. Anyway.
Yeah, but now their asses are broke, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's see.
Colin, Marina, Philip. That was a bit boring.
Yeah, that was I felt like it was just wasting my time to go down to revive this thing that Colin had with Marina, even if it's, under the guise of, I just want to see how she's doing. And, I personally appreciated when Sir Philip came and was,
oh, thank God.
Was an eager participant in Colin's Grecian ramblings.
Yes.
I mean, that was great, but it's like, honestly, Colin, move the fuck on. And it's like, but she didn't seem like she was it's like, dude, let it go.
Business. It ain't your problem, son.
Let it go. There's nothing you can do about this now.
Do you think Marina seemed really unhappy? Because I was like, you know what? She's not thrilled, but maybe that's because you're there, Colin.
Exactly. I think that she is, she obviously is not in love with Sir Philip as she was with his brother. But, she has now recognized that she is in a much better position than she would have been if she hadn't accepted his offer. And that it is working out as well as it could be working out at this point in time.
Have you seen her house? Have you seen her fucking house? Jesus!
She is doing okay. She's doing okay. And she's with a man who is
adorable.
Kind and adorable. Yes, he is awfully cute. He's good with the children. And, it's not what she wanted, but if this is the consolation prize, thank you very much.
Right? The one thing that bothers me
take it and run with it.
Is her kid, because she has twins. They seem the same age as Daphne's kid. Like, what happened in the timeline that these kids are born at the same time? Question marks.
Yeah.
Bridgerton, what's happening? What's going on?
Honestly, those kids are going to be a little bit older. Okay.
Anyway. Penelope and the Madame Delacroix / Whistledown of it all.
What an absurd plan.
I can't believe this was the best they could come up with.
Honestly. Honestly. I mean, at least have a dress box going to a print shop? What the hell?
No women there. What's going on?
It's like, what the hell?
Who's wearing this dress?
What the hell?
So dumb.
It is obviously going to wind up getting back to, or it is going to wind up, becoming known. And
it's the worst plan I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to ruin Delacroix.
What is Madame Delacroix getting out of this? Because she's working so much harder, putting herself at risk. What is she getting? Like a few extra pennies? She doesn't need the extra income. She's dressing the whole of the time now.
She's doing great. Yeah. I
don't get it.
I don't get it. I think if there were some, obviously if it wasn't sewn into a dress and put into a dress box, if it was, anything else.
She just sending a messenger there.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
She could be like, I'm having an affair with one of the print shop people. This is none of your business. I'm sending him notes. But
no.
The dress box is what makes it all a complete mess.
Yeah.
And it's just what...
It is.
Damn you, show.
It is going to fail and fail spectacularly.
Of course it will. I don't know why we have to get into the mechanics of like every different scheme they have to get to the print shop. Because quite honestly, this is the second one. It's also a mess. I hate it. I just don't care at this point. Make it stop. Someone just find out she's Lady Whistledown. I do not care. This is just dull. It's tedious. Make it stop. I was also like, this week was like the first time. Penelope, you absolute asshole.
Yeah.
When she was getting all judgy at Prudent about entrapping a man, like, oh, you may ruin our family. I was just like, get off your little high horse, miss.
You
clopping around, stamping on everyone.
You did that just a little while ago. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's a literal gossip columnist. She's responsible for ruining a whole bunch of families.
Yep.
She's not any better than her family. I know she likes to think she is, but they're all messy.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Oh, I love you, Pen, but come on. Can you show some more self-awareness? You're just as bad as them.
And, what does she think is going to happen if and when her identity is revealed? I mean,
exactly.
Shit is gonna go very poorly for her.
And she writes such horrible things about her mother as well. Like,
yeah, things are gonna go horribly for her.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're probably getting down the road in future seasons, so we'll just pocket that for a little while.
Speaking of Portia and Prudence, their whole plot is hilarious.
It was.
I loved the storyline. Oh. It was so badly executed and so obviously contrived.
Yes. It's like, here we're at this ball where, everybody's running around in these pastel pinks and purples and all this kind of stuff, and they're rocking fuchsia.
Yes! I love Portia's hot pink number. Swelly.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just
I also loved when Prudence was like at a party filled with food, and she was like, you know what, I'm a bit peckish. I'm gonna go get an orange.
I'm a bit hungry. Yes. Have you seen the dining room? It's full of stuff to eat, but
right. One thing I completely, how we were like, we're gonna miss every plot point coming. I did not see Jack being poor coming.
Me neither.
I was fooled by him paying off the cheese man.
Yes. Yes.
I did think the whole rich American mind thing was suspicious, because I was like, who's ever done that? Come back from America with like a ruby mine? Like, that's not a thing. And also, we watched Poldark. We know mines make no money. But I was like, I told myself I was being too cynical and I should trust my instincts more because that was a whole shady mess.
Yeah.
I just assumed Cheeseman's parents were right because she was like, have you made sure they've paid this? And he was like, yes.
Well, not really. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Were you getting the Jack Portia vibe too, or am I crazy? Am I insane?
No, I think they would be really cute together.
He kept smiling at her. I kept thinking, shouldn't you be more angry? I was like, why are you smiling at her?
Oh, God.
I do think they're going to team up and try and get some monies together. Like, that's what I want. I want them to be like, all right, we're going to scam some bitch. Casino Royale stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, favorite scenes.
Library.
Right?
Every single thing happening in that library.
But which library scene? The first one or the second
I
one?
think the first one is my
You
favorite.
have to pick one.
The first one is my favorite.
Yeah.
The second one, I would have to say the second one is when they were shooting and, he's leaning in and helping her with the gun and just the tension that, he has his arms around her. And,
when I was watching that, I texted you. Do you remember? I screamed, "The gun! The gun! This show is gonna kill me."
Yes. So yeah, that's probably my second scene, and then the second library scene is third.
I'm once again floored by the Lady Danbury Kate scene. I mean,
Oh,
I still
yeah.
don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Does she know? Does because I feel like Lady Danbury has to know that they're hot for each other, but then why would she not just come out and say it?
Yeah.
She was like, that you hate him. And I was like, no, she doesn't. We all know why are we talking about? Can everyone just say the thing instead of talking around it? Because it's driving me crazy. It was what Kate and Anthony were doing on that dance floor. And I was like, just say you like her, Anthony. Just say it out loud. If for once somebody would just answer the fucking question, we would not have this mess. Because he was all like, she's like, do you want to propose? And do you want me to propose? And I just was like, somebody
just say
feeling
yes,
once.
no, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God. Oh.
Clear communication is important, people. Don't talk like you're on a telenovela. This is a mess. Least favorite scenes.
I think that it's not that the scenes were terrible. It's just I felt like it was just a waste of time. Was the whole Colin going over to see Marina thing,
It's Marina. She sucks the joy out of this situation.
Well, it's just a rehash. It's like, why are you going over there? Because there's nothing you can do.
I enjoyed it purely for Sir Philip. I'm a Sir Philip fan. I could see him talk about flowers forever. The way he was just like, have you seen these trees? And then Colin was like, that was an olive joke.
Yes.
And
okay,
Marina
that
just
was
looked
cute.
Pissed off.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't want to hear your fucking olive jokes.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah. That was cute.
If we could have Philip without Marina, I would be so happy. Like, just don't invite her over. She can stay and look after the twins. Philip can come over and do some gardening at the Bridgerton estate. Just make that happen.
Oh God. How about you?
I actually find all of the flower arranging scenes deeply uninteresting.
Oh, God.
It was like, yes, we know she's good at flowers. There was 2 separate scenes. I was like, when I was writing the recap, I was like, do I include this flower arranging scene? What's going on? Who cares? Do we care about the arrangements? No. It's and also the whole mechanics of that terrible Lady Whistledown plot. I'm sure it's going somewhere more interesting.
I hope so.
But again, it's like, I don't care. She's got to go somewhere, right? You'd hope so. But yeah, that wasn't great. I wish the whole show could be Kate and Anthony, quite frankly, but I guess other people have to exist.
Yeah.
Can we wig talk? We're talking wigs, baby. Can we wig talk? Baby. Talk about wigs growing.
There wasn't anything, particularly extraordinary about any of the wigs this week. Even Cressida's wig at when they first arrived at the at Aubrey Hall was downright boring.
It was mostly hat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was just a bit more of a hat day. Yeah. I noticed that Kate's hair's becoming looser.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had more curls and the tendrils and like little wispy bits coming out as she's falling in love. I think that's a metaphor, everyone. Yeah.
She's coming undone.
I have to again point out that Edwina's hair looks like she has a perm, and I don't love it. It's like, what they've done is they've taken an actress with naturally curly hair and then made hers too curly, and then they've taken Simone, who has really curly hair, and made it too straight. And like, now that we're getting the curls come back, I'm like, oh, thank God. They've just let her have her texture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Favorite costumes?
I have to say the dresses that both Kate and Edwina were wearing at the ball, the beading was extraordinary. And, during the dancing, the first dance that, it may have been the second dance, but one of the dances where Edwina was dancing with Anthony, and she was twirling, and you could hear the rustle of the beads as they were turning, and that was just beautiful. The dance that Anthony and Kate had, and that slow sweep of the left foot, they did it in slow motion. It was beautiful to watch. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. But those dresses were exquisite.
And she was in pink as well. I couldn't help but notice, like, this was her diamond moment. She finally got to dance at the ball, the man she loved, and she got to wear the Edwina dress and have the curly Edwina hair, and she was living out her fantasy, and then the next day he proposed.
Next day, boom. Next day, everything goes down the drain. But yeah, those were my favorite costumes this week. How about you?
I loved her night dress. It's just a simple muslin, but it has all these patterns on the shoulder. I love me a simple white muslin night dress. It's a period drama staple and really simple, but I just thought it was really elegant, and I loved that she had her hair in a side braid. The little tendrils were coming out. It was just like a perfect period drama outfit. And then when she met Anthony with his chest out and the little upturned collar, I was just like, oh, these two look exquisite. Like, this is when you imagine people meeting in the night in a period drama, that's always how they should look.
Exactly. And we've got to give mad props to the cinematographer for that scene, because the shots were so beautiful.
That shot of Anthony sort of facing into the light from outside of the door, but he's trying not to look at her because she's, like, quote unquote undressed.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, I'm a little bit in love with him right now. Yeah. This is intense. Oh God. And I also noticed there was more matchy. Ironically, at the very beginning of the episode, where they're probably the furthest apart, where she's wearing that blue, like this really light blue dress at the garden party, and Anthony's in his little light blue waistcoat. I was like, that's a Bridgerton blue moment. She's like really fitting into the family at the moment, guys. And I love Kate's top hat for when
when they're out shooting.
Oh, that top hat is a whole moment. You know we love hats here. And
the Bridgerton hat game, as I said in a previous podcast, is on point this season. I mean, Colin's hat that he was wearing when he went to go visit Marina, I was just like, oh God, I love that hat.
Though I have to say, I miss bonnets. I was like, why is no one ever wearing a fucking bonnet?
Oh God.
That's one thing Sanditon gets better, I think, is they're like, this is a period drama. You are going to see this bitch in a bonnet everywhere she goes. And I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, needle drop moment. What was some of your favourite musical moments?
Obviously the one that was playing when Kate and Anthony were dancing.
Do you know that song?
No, I don't. Of course I don't.
Ooh.
You know me. I don't know.
So that is Swedish pop star Robin, and it's a cover of Dancing on My Own. I recommend listening to that song. It's really good. I consider myself to be a bit of a Robin stan. She's the artist I've seen most live. I've seen her like 4 or 5 times live now, and I adore her because she makes music that you can dance to while being really depressed, which I think the lyrics are really heartbreaking, but you are grooving. So that
I love that kind of vibe. Okay, yes. I will listen to that as soon as. Well, okay, not as soon as we finish this, because as soon as we finish this, I am watching episode 5 because.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I've like, guys, go out and listen to Robin, and also like lyrically, I don't think this song really fits Canthony because it's more of a Penelope anthem. It's a song, Dancing on My Own, is more about like longing for someone who's with someone else, and you would think that would fit Canthony. Yeah. But Anthony is not overlooking Kate in that moment. You can see he keeps looking over at Kate. So I was like, but rhythmically, I thought it worked perfectly for that dance.
It was perfect for that dance, which I thought was delightful. So how it was. You know, like they're slowly getting closer, you know.
The intensity.
Yeah.
But actually, my favourite musical moment was during the storm, when they're both lying in bed. The musical theme was really, really beautiful. And I want to be able to... Yeah?
You know what that reminded me of? The moment I heard it.
What?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, I did actually. The
moment where they're
when the rain's falling.
That whole thing, because they've got that...
Rhythmic
and they've
piano.
got the little piano going, and it was like, oh, you guys are now just like killing me.
It's
with
so Pride and
Prejudice reference. And I'm living for it. Oh God,
there's something like really
that was beautiful,
ethereal about that piece of music, and I was, it's like and that whole scene is really like where Kate and Anthony fall in love. If you ask me, they're like these two people met downstairs. And they were like, "Oh my God, this is the person I'm supposed to be with." So, like, that
you know, they're sharing their the loss of their fathers, of their respective fathers, and you know, it's just a moment where it all comes together.
And I feel like that there's this moment where he looks at her, and you're like, "Oh my God, he loves her." Just like the way he just can't stand that she's leaving. It's just what a Every time he looks at her like that, part of me just turns into goo. I'm like, I want someone to look at me like that. That's so good. Oh, damn you, Jonathan.
Dude can crank out some truly intense looks.
I'm breathing.
It's like when he turns that on, it's like, oh God, I'm sucked in.
That moment where she was like, and you looked at me, and he was like, how did I look at you? And then I was like that. Like the way you're looking at her now.
Right there.
Right there.
Oh, God. Okay, performer of the episode. How about you go first?
I'm going to be really...
Chances are I'm going to agree with you.
Unoriginal. I'm going to be... It's again Simone for me because that moment where she was crying on the balcony, I was like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not even looking at her. It's just the back. You're watching a woman from the back, and it's still the most emotional moment of the episode for me.
Yeah. You see that tear fall, and you know, like her hand coming in and trying to brush it away, and that was heartbreak. That was just heartbreak.
And she's grappling with so much. I think more than Anthony, she has way more to deal with this episode because whenever he asks her, like, how do you feel? Like, he's like trying to pry the emotions out of her. She can't say anything because of her loyalty to her sister. Yeah. Like, there's no way in the world she can express that. Yeah. Before she's talked to her sister. Like, I just was like, oh, the conflict inside you.
And I, of course, agree with you. I agree with you, as usual. She's killing it. She's just killing it.
again, would like to point out this is her first, like, major role, and she's killing everyone else in her path.
God! She's amazing.
Even with Adjua again, we got another scene where I was like, you know what? I'm watching Simone and not this veteran. Like, what's going on? Oh.
She's holding her own with the veteran. It's amazing. I love her so much.
How many Bs out of 5?
Do we even need to ask this question anymore? It's 11 billion Bs.
One day we're gonna hate an episode. It's bound to happen. It's gonna happen.
It's 5. 5.
Okay. I agree. Let's move on to inbox because we don't need to kill this to death.
My God. I just looked at the inbox. It's a lot. Thank you.
It's a lot. Thank you again to everyone who wrote to us this week. We really love you all. It's nice not to feel like we're just speaking into a void sometimes. You know, when we're talking and I forget other people are going to hear this. This is going to be long, but I've also edited some of them for time. So that's what we're talking about. You guys have as many feelings about this as we do.
And that's awesome.
That's nice. I fear not. I promise we read them all. We just do this for time. Go ahead.
Hello, amazing women. Southern Mother Shelby here from North Carolina. I am eager each Wednesday to begin my commute to work with you two brilliant and comical ladies. As a middle school teacher, it is my way to decompress and hear what you both think of the show.
Oh my God, a middle school teacher. You are doing the Lord's work. Raise our youth to be less annoying than I am.
Yeah, and sorry about the swearing. Rita has shared her dislike for the Penelope and Eloise storyline. But can we talk about the weird brother-sister scenes with Eloise and Benedict swinging and smoking? Both seasons, I have found myself wanting to skip through them. Perhaps this relationship plays a bigger role later. Still seems awkward to me.
It absolutely does not. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Last, my idea on why the Queen is so into Lady Whistledown is perhaps to do with the King. Based off season 1, I could imagine her life, outside being Queen, is a bit stressful with her husband no longer being able to be the companion she longs for. I think this is her outlet from the sadness in her life. Just like I enjoy cheesy soap operas, because it makes me feel better about my life. Thanks again, ladies. Every episode I watched, I was guessing just what you two might say, and you two haven't disappointed me yet. Oh, God. Pressure.
So much pressure.
Please continue your hour-and-a-half recaps. We avid listeners are here for it.
Oh, just you try and shut me up. Okay. Thank you. That was so sweet. It's so weird when people say that they like us because I'm like not used to compliments. Anyway,
God.
Let's move on before I say something even more awkward. We got this Instagram message from Maria C. She says she was hoping we can spend a bit of time discussing Daphne this episode. I felt you skipped over her presence last week. I'm loving her intuition and her attempt at matchmaking for Anthony. Season 1 episode 4 parallels. Season's episode 4 are pretty amazing. Love how Chris Van Dusen looped the parallels this episode. And as I explained to her, I'm like, we totally meant to talk about Daphne and Anthony, but then I talked too much about Kate and Anthony, and I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, marriage has made her smart,
right?
And you know, having gone through this last season, you know, she's gonna pick up on some things that Anthony is clearly missing or avoiding.
Well, she's been through her own love triangle. She knows the signs.
Exactly. So, you know, I think that Daphne is doing a wonderful job. And I love the way she confronted him after, you know, catching them almost kiss in the library.
Yes, that was so satisfying.
It was just like, oh yeah, dude, I saw you, and this is the same situation that I was in last season, and you almost dueled over it, and I had to get married. So, you know, and his saying, "Oh, the difference is that I'm a man." I I wanted to slap him. I wanted to slap him when he said that.
I think what's interesting about this is that it's almost the exact scenario. It's the same as 104 and 204.
Mm-hmm.
But what ends up happening is basically the exact opposite. Like,
yes,
the same forces are at play, and yet somehow it just drastically go wrong. Daphne basically prevents Anthony from being with Kate with her intervention. And Anthony is the reason that Daphne marries Simon in the first season. And it's insane to think, like, how even good intentions can go so awry. And I think that's just they've managed to do the exact same plot point, but make it completely fresh and new, which I think is interesting. But I also have to point out that Daphne's also the one that prevented him from kissing Kate in the first place. Like,
yes!
I kept thinking, if he had actually kissed Kate in that moment, and then Daphne walked in and saw them kissing, I think he would have married her. I honestly actually think Anthony would have.
You think?
He would. Yeah, I really do. I really think that had it gone that far, his sense of duty is so strong that he's like, I've compromised her. I have to do it. Daphne's intervention sort of accidentally fucks everything up. She's like,
whoopsies!
She's just caused a huge wrench in that situation. I also think it's so interesting because Anthony had the complete wrong intentions in season 1 and ended up doing such a positive thing.
Yeah.
And Daphne's fucked it completely. When she said that he loved her, I was like, no, Daphne! No, that's the exact wrong thing to say.
Don't say the L word. Don't say the L word, please. No, it's his kryptonite. Oh, God.
Before that, I don't think it had really occurred to Anthony that he was in love with Kate. He was just really horny and focused on that. And then as soon as he's like, oh no, I love her, it's
shit.
You ruined it.
Well, thank you, Maria. Let's see. Hello, Michele and Rita. I've watched the full episodes of Bridgerton enough now. I now fast forward through to the Canthony scenes, which is why we are all here this season.
Exactly.
My people. I love the scene where Edwina is asking Anthony to take Kate hunting with them. Based on the way he just follows instructions on the hunt, you can surmise he never honed his hunting skills. Oh, good point. But he knows if Kate says she is skilled, then she probably is. After Benedict jokes that he can learn something from her, Anthony has an oh shit look on his face. And we know this former indoor fuckboy is about to get bested by her again.
So he did know how to shoot that gun, which, by the way, what an incredible double entendre.
Yes.
Gonna teach her to...
Well done.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Anyway.
The squeeze on that gun when he sees her thigh. Oh my God. Yes. Also, Anthony totally copped a feel while showing her how to hold the gun. The part in the library was so good but too short. If we don't get Anthony reading to Kate during a rainy night next season, oh God, I will have notes for the writers. Oh dear, is that a spoiler?
I think that's just a wish for next season.
Ah.
That can't be a spoiler. So that means it doesn't happen this season, sad face. Okay.
Oh.
Whatever.
The voice drop when Anthony says, say you do not care for me. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh God.
I found an ASMR where they took the music out and it's just them talking. I listened to that more than I should admit. Oh.
Send us the link, please.
I don't know if I need to. I don't know if I want it because I'll just be sitting there like a vegetable. With it on repeat. Final scene. Anthony, you fucking idiot. Love the pod. I look forward to it every week. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about this episode. Your new fan, Anna.
Oh, talking about that last... Thank you, Anna. Sorry, I just got distracted. Sorry. I swear. That scene, I noticed something. While I was waiting for you to pop online, I rewatched that scene. And not only is there a fire standing in between them, oh my God, the symbolism, above them was a portrait of Edmund. And I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
the ghost of Edmund is coming between
Yes.
Anthony and Kate. Oh,
Yes.
they're on his arms. Oh. This show, man, you gotta watch Eagle-Eyed.
Yes, you do. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. Hi, ladies. One word. Frustration. Or maybe vexation. Yes. I think I heard Rita and Michelle both scream no here in Connecticut. I'm about halfway between you two. I think my relationship with Bridgerton is like Kate and with Anthony. It vexes me, but I can't stop watching or thinking about it.
Right.
Still, I want to watch all the Canthony scenes over and over. Why? Because they're awesome.
They're the best.
Let's see. Yes. I even like the scenes with Colin, Marina, and Sir Philip. Partly because I like a handsome nerd or nerds. Yes, so do I. I'm a sucker for geeky boys. And also because Marina told Colin to wake up and smell the Penelope. Even though, as I am sure both you will point out, it makes no sense. Why did he go there, and why would he go when his mother was hosting a ball the same day?
What the fuck?
Honestly.
You can go anytime! Anyway.
Yeah. Ugh. Keep up the fun, Carol in Connecticut.
Maybe Colin just was looking for an excuse to get out of that ball. It's apparently annual. He's been. So.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Thank you, Carol.
Our next email said, "Hi, Michele and Rita. If the aristocracy wants maids to chaperone, why won't they teach maids how to ride?" By the way, this bothered me. I was like, why wouldn't they have a groom that usually horse grooms would be the ones that would ride out along single females, and Anthony would have them at Aubrey Hall because he has a bunch of younger sisters who I assume ride, and also Daphne would have one. She is visiting as well. It was funny as hell, but it doesn't make any logical sense to have a maid there. This episode would have been shorter and hotter if they skipped the unpleasant marina scenes.
We agree.
Except for the candlelit library scene blew season 1 sexual tension out of the water. Oh snap.
Yes. Whoops.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I think we agree. Sorry, Reggae. I know you licked that spoon for all it's worth, but apparently we're really into neck sniffing, heavy breathing, and getting engaged to your sister. That's
I guess so. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hi, girls. First of all, I wanted to tell you guys how much I enjoy your podcast. You guys are stronger than me for being able to just watch one episode per week. I love your podcast and I love how you guys research things. However, there's one tiny mistake that I noticed you guys did, and it's been bugging me for the last 2 weeks. You said that there was a plot hole about the printer shop and Eloise finding it in season 1, and how it doesn't make sense that she's finding it again in season 2. However, in episode 2 of season 2, at 12 minutes 59 seconds, Eloise talks to Penelope about how she found Lady Whistledown's new printer. This means that Penelope changed printers. Now, I don't understand how the paper felt the same to Eloise, but I don't think this was the plot hole that you guys think it was. Shondaland isn't perfect, but they wouldn't do a mistake this big. Sorry for the long email. I swear I wasn't going to bring up this issue, but then I listened to last week's podcast, and it was brought up, and that just made my skin itch.
Hey,
I really do love your work. Oh, absolutely! Please, feel free to clock us whenever we do make a mistake.
Though I did go back to episode 1, and Penelope does actually say in that very first scene that the print shop is new to this arrangement. But this is why I still think it's a plot hole. This happens during a flashback to what can only be season 1. If you remember, she's at that party in that yellow dress and everyone's talking about, oh, how does Lady Whistledown do it? And then we see the montage. And that montage ends with her going to the exact same print shop we see in season 2, and with her talking to that man. So you would assume that scene took place last season, wouldn't you? So wouldn't she have gone to her old printer and not the new one? This potentially isn't a plot hole of the writing, but a production fuck-up. Maybe, like, the memo didn't get to them. Or or do you think it's not a flashback? That bit wasn't a flash, but it's in the same grain. Like, it was shot the same way as the rest of the flashback. Why would that not be So it's either the production didn't know it wasn't a flashback, or I don't... It's... Okay, why am I thinking about this hard? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense. Michelle, help me.
Oh, God. I think I would need to go and rewatch the episodes in question.
But also, who cares this much about the storyline?
Oh, we do. We do.
Is it a flashback? Is it not a flashback?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But y'all, feel free. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Run in. Explain what happened, because clearly something got lost in translation. And even if that wasn't flashback to last season, then that's also a plot hole, because she should be in mourning at whatever party she's in.
Well, would she be going to parties?
No, because she's in mourning. And also, it's between seasons, so why would she be in a party in London? She would be off in the country. Oh God, we've thought about this We've thought about this more than the show. So let's move on. Hi ladies, OMG, these episodes. There is always so much going on, and all this Canthony tension is giving me heart palpitations. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I'm not enjoying the Featherington storyline. I just can't get into it. I think it's become pretty predictable and boring when you compare it to everything else that's going on in the show. Like, why else would Lord Feathering be interested in Cressida Cowper? Have you seen Cressida Cowper? She's a hottie. Yeah. She's annoying. She's really annoying. But men are stupid. You just go for looks. Anyway. Alright, can we talk about Edwina for a minute? Girl, learn how to read a room. When she's playing cards with the ladies and starts to chat with Daphne about Anthony, she describes him, and Daphne is genuinely confused because the person Edwina is describing is not her brother. But then she's like, we bring out the best in each other. No, girl, this is a front. He is pretending.
Oh.
Okay, ladies, Canthony, I have 2 words for you. Leg sweep.
Yes! Yes!
We finally get to see Kate and Anthony dance together, and it's amazing. The choreography is fantastic, and the chemistry between these 2 characters is off the charts insane. Their eyes never leave each other. I just want them to get together like now. Then we have Kate following Anthony into the library where they get into an argument. I did find it hilarious that the only reason Kate could get out of why she dislikes Anthony is the modern day equivalent of because you piss me off. This is followed up by some face touching, and we think we're finally getting some Canthony action, and then boom, in walks Daphne. Daphne, you're supposed to be helping your brother and not cockblocking him. I'm telling you, they would have got engaged. Anyway, Anthony follows Daphne, and during their conversation, she helps him to discover that the feelings he does have for Kate are in fact love. To which his response is to turn himself into a human trash compactor and to shove those feelings down as far as possible. Then cover it with a layer of I'm going to hide my feelings by proposing to the sister of the woman I love. Sounds like a great recipe for success. Sarcastic thumbs up. Good God, I'm having heart palpitations as I write this email. Hopefully I survive till next week. Can't wait to listen to the podcast. I mean, human trash compactor is just the funniest.
That is awesome.
Oh God, I'm just reliving. Like, I'm getting stress flashbacks to watching him get down on one knee, and when he's walking towards Kate, and she thinks that he's going to talk to her,
yes,
and he just like goes nope,
like, nope.
Zooms in on her sister.
It's like,
and we're like,
ass!
so close,
oh,
so close.
God, you ass. Yes.
Absolutely. I don't think even Kate predicted that he would be that stupid. She
Seriously.
can't stand him.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Episode 205 description. The episode is called An Unthinkable Fate, and the episode description reads as follows. Rattled by Anthony's hasty nuptial plans, Kate receives advice from Lady Danbury. Oh God.
Stop, Lady Danbury. You are not helping.
Eloise spars with a new ally.
Oh, I don't care.
And emotions run high during a dinner party.
Oh, no. That sounds terrible. All of it sounds like things I hate.
Oh, God.
Anthony is probably... Do you think Anthony's like, we need to get married next week so I can get Kate out of the country?
Probably. He's probably thinking, okay, I'll get a special license. We'll get this over real quick. It'll be great. Kate will be in India. Everything will be perfect.
I hate him sometimes. It's so stupid. Right. And, like, she can go to fucking India, Anthony, and you will still love her, you dumbass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm getting so annoyed at you, and you're just a fictional person. Anyway, Eloise sparring with a new ally sounds dull, and I'm already angry. Kate, stay away from Lady Danbury. She is not helping the situation. She was the one encouraging Edwina in the first place. Speaking of emotions run high, I'm not sure that I can withstand the rest of this season. I've clearly already lost it.
God.
Help me.
God. I can't. I think that whatever winds up happening this episode, it's going to have us either wanting to throw something at the television or weep with joy.
He's got to break off this fucking wedding, but how? How do you do that?
I don't know. How do you do that without completely destroying people's reputations?
You can't.
I mean, Featherington, of course, has already dropped this news on the ton. And so, yeah, you break off the engagement with Edwina.
Well, men weren't allowed to do that because you could get yourself sued if you didn't fulfill your betrothal contract.
Oh, really?
But, I mean, that's the historically accurate version. In Bridgerton land, you can do whatever the fuck you like. I mean, Kate was riding astride in front of a group of men this episode, so who knows? He can probably just be like, guys, I don't want to marry her, bye, and chillax, and nothing will happen.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so... This episode has already gone too long. Again. That's all that we've got time for.
Dear Lord. Okay. Yeah.
We'll be back next week, recapping and discussing the 5th episode.
If we survive.
I will continue my slow mental decline
yes.
at the hands of this show. Until then, follow us on social media. We're in the Books Network on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram updates are insanely good, so you better subscribe. We're also on Tumblr. I barely log in. If you want to send in some anonymous questions, then go over to our Ask Box. It's always open, and we are, of course, dying to hear what you thought of episode 5. And we need the mental support at this point to watch more episodes. Please email us at inthebooksnetwork@gmail.com. We will read you out on the inbox section, no matter how many of you there are. And remember to subscribe, rate, and review because it really helps us reach a larger audience. Thank you all for listening and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.